Ba, da, da,
You know,
da,
you
da.
don't you don't really need to count me
Ba,
in
da, da,
if
da.
you're going to just do the music.
Oh, you're right.
Uh, Welcome
Ba,
back
da,
to the
da,
No
da.
Shots Fired podcast, everyone. This is episode
Ba, 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 ba,
62,
ba,
the
ba,
Battle of
ba, ba,
1993, in which
ba,
we
ba,
reveal
ba,
the very
ba,
best
ba,
games
da,
from
da, da,
1993.
do,
What
do,
everyone,
do,
I'm sure, has been
do,
waiting for these
do, do, do,
past
do,
28 years.
do, 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 do,
So,
do, do.
without further ado, we're going to dive right in. I am Valen. We have Junkblade and Doc here. We have exhaustively researched and played every game on the following list.
At some
And
point in our lives.
uh, this last week, we beat all of them individually, collectively, and we are ready to reveal our top 5 games of 1993. But first,
Okay.
let's start out with our little charcuterie board review. I want to hear everybody's top 5 favorite charcuterie board items. That'll get us ready for the 1993 top
Oh.
5.
Okay. I,
Doc,
I,
go.
I enjoy like charcuterie and fancy cheeses. I don't know the names of any of them. So I enjoy the
Let's
spy.
go with broad items. So,
Okay.
like, you want like a dry
I
cheese
say it's
or olives.
a good variety on the cheese. Well, I tend towards a little bit of kick to it, not a ton, but
A little bit of spice.
some cured meats, various, and get that fruit out of there. I'm a meat and cheese man.
Oh, not a fruit man. So you don't.
Oh, I
want,
guess
like,
I want fruit there as a decoy to the other people I'm obviously sharing it with, because you can't have one by yourself. So.
It is a good visual.
Yeah,
A good
that's
visual. Junkblade, top 5 charcuterie board items.
Ritz crackers, specifically Ritz.
Okay.
It seems to be my favorite brand.
The everyman's charcuterie board cracker.
Pepper jack cheese would be my go-to for
the everyman's cheese.
Like Doc said, some cured meats. I am not an olive person, so I would actually not enjoy those at all. But like a couple of grapes with fancy toothpicks in them, or things of that nature.
Okay.
All right.
And maybe like some cheese cubes of like Colby Jack, again with the little fancy toothpicks in them.
I need the fancy toothpicks. You need, again, presentation.
You don't want to be, you don't want to be bare-handed that cheese. That's no good.
Mm-hmm.
We should do as a topic one week, gaming snacks. Top gaming snack. Your go-to gaming fuel. You know.
That's not a bad idea.
That's really not a bad idea.
You guys remember the Doritos 3Ds?
I do.
Anybody remember?
I don't.
They were Doritos chips, but they were like puffed into balloon
well, yeah. I mean,
shapes.
I kind of assumed just based on the name, but
the 90s were a heady time for everybody.
Well, that's the one thing that really bothers me about conventional Doritos is they only exist in 2 dimensions.
It was it was limiting. It's true. Whole new flavor profile in that 3rd dimension.
It's hard to even like manipulate them since they're only in 2 dimensions. Anyway, what's everyone been playing this past week?
I think it sounds like we've all been kind of doing our homework. So I did some Secret of Mana, Myst, and Doom this week. How about you, Junkblade?
I did a little bit of Day of the Tentacle, Star Fox, and Doom.
And I only played Doom.
Okay, so Doom is the
sorry. Let me amend that. I played every single game on this list.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's, we got a little variety there. So I guess we could start this off by saying, are there any that we feel extremely strong will be in the top 5 kind of regardless? Like,
I mean,
asterisk games in there.
I think Doom has to be.
Doom? Okay.
Doom is absolutely going to be in there, and Mega Man X for me has to be in the top 5.
I think I agree. Those are 2 auto fills for me.
All right, so I will asterisks those. I guess beyond that, I'm not feeling like Those are the two I feel strongest about, I think, going in there somewhere.
I'm biased in that, again, one of my problems is, other than those two, I guess Link's Awakening, I really haven't. Oh, I Jam. I only have really played games on this list. Is a big limiting factor for me.
Well, that's true. Opinions on the internet, you have to have first-hand experience to back them up. But so those two. So then I think we're really arguing over 3 spots, or trying to decide to narrow it down, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 8 games for 3 spots. So we gotta. Is there anything anyone wants to nominate to cut first?
I mean, I don't know what Day of the Tentacle is, so.
Jumpblade, do you want to give us a little Day of the Tentacle?
I am absolutely fine with cutting that game from the list because I tried it and it was very much not for me.
Okay, so it's a point and click adventure game. So, 1993 probably, close to the heyday of that type of game. Secret of Monkey Island, Myst, I would put in that category as well. Day of the Tentacle.
So it's an off-brand.
Sam and Max. No, it's better than Myst. At least in terms.
Better than Myst?
I would say so. At least in terms of how it's held up, for sure.
It's got some pretty big names associated with it. LucasArts, when they actually made good games. And a couple of others like Double Fine.
Yeah.
I had it in my Steam library for some reason. Everyone's got like 100 games in their Steam library.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Yeah. That you don't even know you have. Like I said, this game was not for me. I did not like a single one of the characters.
Well, that's not hit us with why. Yeah, hit us with some.
It's very extra.
It's very over the top, and not in a way I enjoyed.
You got to give me like genre.
These tentacle aliens. If I played, this has been a number of years since I played it at all. But isn't like you're traveling through time to try to prevent them from taking over the world or something to that effect? Is that right?
Something to that effect.
And isn't the time travel thing like a porta potty or something?
And the character designs are like the really stereotypical nerd. This girl looks like she's on the verge of just killing everybody in the room.
Lots of 90s tood. Is how I
overweight rocker dude. I don't like a single one of their personalities. The aforementioned girl sounds like she's just constantly high.
There's actual voice acting?
There's actual voice acting, and I found it very grating. So, even though I have played a point-and-click adventure games in the past, at least a little bit, despite this one being a classic, it was very much not for me.
And Doc, what do you remember about the Tentacle?
I think I said most of it just now, because I didn't. I also didn't get very far because adventure games of this time were ones that you kind of had to just bang your head against to kind of get through.
Right,
like the puzzles,
the logic.
Yeah, if there was any logic at all, but like the cool part of those was like the freedom you had to combine like almost any item together and try it on literally anything that was clickable in the world. Like it's like the open-endedness of it is something that gives me hives, but other people enjoy quite a bit. So yeah, I never got that far, and it's something I wanted to try to go back to a little bit this week, but I realized there was no way I'd have enough time to put enough time into it to really have any
And just going into it blind with what I've mentioned, I didn't really have any motivation to get into it, really.
How long
'Cause
before
I-
you gave up?
About half an hour.
Hmm.
Okay, not very long.
No.
But okay, so Day of the by most accounts, a very good one of those games, but maybe not something we have the patience for in this day and age at the moment, at least for us.
Why is it that so many people? I mean, Doc, you said Day of the Tentacle surpasses Myst, but I feel like everybody's heard of Myst, and I don't know. Like even my aunt and uncle knew about Myst, and they're not gamers. I feel like Myst. Why didn't Myst enter the popular lexicon?
I wanted to. I meant to do a little more kind of reading about that. Clearly, I did not get to that, but I feel like it had something. It had a lot to do with kind of how change all. So I played it a little bit on stream just before we started the podcast, which you watched some of, Alan. And I think it's one of those first games that like felt like you were like walking through a world and like interacting in like first person, because like all of these other point and click adventure games, you're a character on the screen and you're kind of walking on a 2D thing,
right?
You know, storybook wise, and that's kind of
Normally
the format.
Not a,
yeah. Whereas this was very much one of the first ones that kind of felt like you were like on the island doing the things, and the combination of that and like we saw some videos of like real
the
people,
graphical elements. I think,
so I think that
time.
was for 1993 was a big part of it. And so I think because like the game tropes that it's doing is basically just adventure game stuff. However, I don't know if it's as obtuse as some of the like the Day of the Tentacle type adventure games. So that may have helped broaden its appeal as well. Maybe it was a little more accessible in terms of the actual
like
playing of it.
One of the hardest thing about the point and click games for the time, or at least what I remember, and I think we've discussed before, is all these games have their own internal logic that can be tough to.
Yeah, and a lack of signposting to the point that you could actually like reach a point where you were just stuck.
Right, exactly. The internet was not what it is today. You might just have to put the game down forever.
Yeah. Whereas in the 30 to 45 minutes I put into Myst, almost all of it spent reading. I was able to make progress with getting that video message, and now I have to go look at the tower rotation, which I also found already. So like there's things, I think there's things about it, but I think mainly that graphical aspect is why it's so much more well known than Day of the Tentacle. But I will say, like, I don't in the things I read, listen to, read, like people like games people, quote unquote, don't really talk about Myst, but they remember Day of the Tentacle fondly, I guess, is what I would say.
Sure.
However,
I think it's just like Myst made it into like the popular lexicon. I mean, I remember seeing Myst references on sitcoms. I saw the cartoon Foxtrot. Myst entered that kind of realm. Now, okay, but it sounds like after all the discussion, we are going to be cutting Day of the Tentacle from the top 5.
I think Day of the Tentacle is not going to make it into the top 5. I'm gonna...
Doc, do you have any ones that are definitely on your top 5? Because Junkblade and I have thrown 2 out there. Do you have any that are, or do you think definitely in this?
For me, I would have to
non-committal
to do Star Fox, I think.
Okay. I Star Fox for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the first games I could remember as a child, like hearing about before we had it. Like,
I remember hearing about Star Fox.
Yeah,
Star Fox definitely.
So yeah, Star Fox is a Super Nintendo game, and if you remember the Super Nintendo at all, not a ton of 3D graphics on
Right.
that machine until the FX chip and Star Fox came about. So it's almost all based on like the graphical, and it looks, basically, frankly ridiculous now when
Sure.
you go back to it. But at the time, being able to play that, which was close to what you were seeing in the movie theater 5 or 10 years, previous, on your TV at home in that little box was something. And as we mentioned last week, the first level's music is fantastic, so that puts it there for me.
I think just from I did not play the Super Nintendo Star Fox, but I would say it's probably got a lock for the top 5.
Okay.
But well, yeah, I don't know if Mist would make it into my. I get unless we're doing because of like again, it's cultural impact.
I think we come back to Myst maybe and go through
Alright,
some of
I
these
mean-
other, because so we've got basically 4 more Nintendo games, I guess. So
I would say probably because Star Fox and X-Wing similar games, right?
yeah, and at least
I-
for me, Star Fox had more of an like I remember X-Wing too, but Star Fox had more of an impact.
I remember
for me.
Star Fox. I don't remember X-Wing. I would say, yeah.
Jump
say
Blade,
personally-
any opinions on X-Wing?
No opinions on X-Wing. I don't believe I've ever played it.
Okay. That was one that my uncle was like, he was really into X-Wing, which was novel at the time, being able to talk about video games to one of my uncles. But I think it was probably done better with like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter and games like that. And I don't remember enough about playing it myself to put up a fight for it.
Super Mario All-Stars. Refresh my memory on what that one was.
So that's a collection of all the NES Mario games on Super Nintendo, but it also
Okay.
includes what they called the Lost Levels, which was the Japanese Super Mario Brothers 2. So I don't know if that should be on here because it is
Feels like it's cheating.
it is kind of like a remake.
Got it.
But it is noteworthy because that was the first time anyone over here got to play the real Super Mario Brothers. That game is impossible. Okay, we've got 3. We need 2 out of this 4 here. So we're getting down to it. Now,
You're gonna have to walk me through.
has anyone else played Secret of Mana?
No.
I
That's-
don't
That's
believe
what I
so.
was just about to say. Is you're gonna have to walk me through Secret
Okay.
of Mana in case because I didn't play it and I'm unfamiliar with it.
Secret of Mana is a Square Enix game, an action RPG. It might be one of their first attempts at that kind of thing. So the combat is in real time. It's not turn based. You can move around the area, and the bit I played of it was interesting. The combat, had a timing to it where you had to kind of wait for a meter to recharge to do full damage again, but you could kind of keep attacking and like chip away damage enemies. So you had kind of options there. But yeah, I just didn't. It's a game I always remember. Like we had it. Like this is the cartridge I've got is one we had as kids, and it's something I remember I would start up every year or two, play for like 2 hours, and go yeah.
Well,
But
probably not in promising.
no, I don't. No, not for our list. If no one else has played it, but I do know it's a popular Super Nintendo game. It's pretty high up on a lot of people's lists.
Got it.
But if you guys haven't played it, then
It would have. I think it would have required a pretty strong. Yeah, I am unfamiliar with it. I think it would have.
I will say a
strong
lot of
argument
the soundtrack very good. Quite a few songs used in Griffin McElroy's play through of World of Warcraft, where he tries He Doesn't Kill Anybody, which is a great video series. Check
I
out.
will probably at least give it a shot at some point in the future.
Yeah,
Next month or so.
I think because I think it's on the Nintendo Switch Online, if I remember right. So I played it on my SNES Mini because I can't resist from buying every stupid thing that is put out.
Yeah, I think we have established that with your repeated questions of whether or not you can cancel your pre-order of the PlayStation Classic.
Oh, you mean this right here? This thing?
Yes, that is the exact thing that I mean.
Yeah,
It's
should
like
I should have waited a couple of weeks and got it for like $20. It's worth it for if you can find it for $20, go ahead. It's silly, but okay. So
How much was it?
it doesn't matter. I don't remember. More than 20.
Probably 100.
60 or 80. I can't remember which. But okay, so we're down to Link's Awakening, Myst, and NBA Jam.
I mean,
NBA Jam, I remember playing a lot of.
I'd say NBA Jam, is another one that was very reached a very, I don't know, a deep level of penetration into the non-gaming world. Like, he's on fire and like that stuff.
Right. Yeah. There's so much from that.
Yeah. I guess. Okay, so here's an interesting thing because for me, I prefer NBA Jam Tournament Edition, which came out later. But
I don't remember.
Link's Awakening, I would argue, if you're going to play that, you should play the Link's Awakening DX, or the one that came out on Switch, because then you actually have a dedicated sword button, which makes the game playable, in my humble opinion. So
I actually like the original, but
Yeah.
better. But I think it's just because I played the original. I like the, at least just the graphical style. I like that they remastered it in the colors and stuff, but I like just the original better, just because that's what I remember.
That helps. Yes.
Sports games and I have never gotten along, and neither have 2D Zelda games and me.
Okay.
So, between the two, I would obviously lean more towards Link's Awakening, but I have not really had enough experiences with either game to feel strongly about either of them.
Okay, let's. Here's what we can do. Let's go around, and out of these three, say which one you think should go, and we'll see if we have a consensus or not.
All right.
Junkblade, what do you think?
Myst.
One for Myst.
I think Myst, just because I didn't actually play it, and even though, I mean, unless we're really going on like the cultural impact, or we're considering factors outside of the game itself, I mean, just watching it there, it's just not the kind of game that I would have played or would still play.
Yeah, it's just it's something where like I wouldn't put it on a list of like best games now, but I feel like saying like, oh, here's the best games from that year. Like, it's hard not like that. Like, as we talked about, that was such a big thing.
It is. I don't know.
It feels like it kind of
right.
Yeah, it feels like it captures 1993 to me. Like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue to put it at the top, but I don't know.
As a as kind of a distillation of the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have to. What are our three again that we're deciding?
Link's Awakening, Myst, and NBA Jam.
Probably cut Link's Awakening. I think good game, but also it wasn't even like, I don't know. It's for Game Boy, it was good, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I say showed you could do a Zelda on the Game Boy, which is impressive. Although I at least when I was a kid, because I had the DX version, I think, so just the same game but in color. I had a hard time not having to switch. Like, I would switch the sword around, but then I would change which button it was on, and I'd forget, and I'd die. And but like when I played it, when they remade it on the Switch whenever they did, 2 years ago, I enjoyed the heck out of it. But but I haven't gone back and tried the Game Boy game again to see if now I can maneuver through it. But
I think we cut it. I mean, I enjoyed it at the time, but
what do you think, Junkblade?
for like best games of 1993,
I'm okay with cutting it. I especially because neither of you feel nearly as attached to it as you do to NBA Jam, at least the original version of Link's Awakening, and I don't feel like it has the argument for being as culturally important as Myst does.
At least at the time, yeah.
At least at the time.
Okay, we're gonna anger a lot of the internet, but this is our list, so eat it, people. Okay. A tough cut.
it's tough when you're that close to the goal.
It is. Honorable
Yeah.
honorable mention. Bless up to Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. Okay. We've got our 5. I think we put Myst at number 5. Right?
Yeah. I think
I'm perfectly okay with that.
It squeaked.
it
It
made
squeaked
the-
in here.
Right.
Good on
It
you,
should
Myst,
be. It
for
should be
making
happy. Happy it's on the podium.
Yeah, but
It doesn't. It doesn't need to.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. All right. To me, the top 2 is going to be between Doom and Mega Man X. We
I'm
agreed
That's
with
what
that.
I was. For me personally, yeah, that
Yeah.
would be my top 2.
absolutely.
Okay, so let's try to get 3. So between Star Fox and NBA Jam, anyone have
I
any
think-
strong feelings about it?
So you go
yeah.
ahead, Valen.
I was just saying, didn't really play Star Fox, but also I think I don't know that NBA Jam did what it did really well, but it didn't do a lot. Like it was.
Yeah,
Again, for the time,
they're both kind of limited.
So I would say in regards to Star Fox, even if it was very important for the time, I don't know so much about NBA Jam, but Star Fox seems to have aged pretty poorly. Like, I can play Star Fox 64 all day, no problems.
Yeah,
but
which is basically a remake of Star Fox.
controls on Star Fox for the Super Nintendo are so much more specific and finicky that I feel like you basically had to have played it at the time to actually play it now.
The lack
So
of
I
a
have played-
joystick is.
and on that front, in a similar vein as that argument, I have actually played NBA Jam within the last few years, not because I was doing a 1993 recap, but just because
Oh, it's
I
great.
still think it's held up well and it's still really fun to play.
I'll tell you what, Amanda better watch out because there's a company that makes slightly scaled down arcade cabinets, and they released an NBA Jam one, and I have been very close to clicking the
I
button
mean-
on that one.
I mean,
I would go Star Fox 4 and NBA Jam 3 is I think that has for me sealed that.
I think so, and yeah, I agree with the playability now. I would absolutely play NBA Jam now. Star Fox, I'd have to be in the right mood. Okay. Now I think so. We got the easy stuff out of the way. I think.
I actually feel like this is a pretty easy decision myself.
For me, I would Mega Man X just because I played the heck out of that and I still really like it.
I would actually argue for Doom.
Doom is probably number 1. I think probably number 1 just because it has both the power. I actually played that one this week in anticipation of this podcast, and it has held up extremely well.
I think it holds up just a little bit better than Mega Man X does. Mega Man X can be very unforgiving if you don't know exactly what you're doing already. Like, 4 of the bosses in that game are just awful to start out with. You can't even dash like you can in the later games unless you go to a specific stage first. and then you have to know that that's the stage you have to go to first. Whereas Doom doesn't have much of a barrier to entry in terms of how you play it, and you can put it on whatever difficulty you want starting right off. So, if you put it on insane mode and you can't really do anything, that's more on you than it is on the design of the game.
Right.
It's like a perfect distillation of a shooter,
okay,
right?
I changed my answer. It's got to be Doom.
That's a really good point, Jumpblade, because like I think my Mega Man X thoughts are colored by how much speed running I've watched of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I've watched way more speed runs of it than I've played of it at this point. Because like I didn't have that's what I didn't have as a kid. I came to it later, and I've enjoyed playing. It's great. The music's fantastic. The movement's great. But you're like, it is funny because if you've played those later games, you get used to those other movement options. And going back can be hard, but yeah, watching a speed run, people just fly through those levels like it's nothing, and it looks incredible. Actually, both these games are interesting because I played neither of them when I was at the time in 1993. But I have been incredibly impressed going back to Doom. Kind of I will say I get lost in the levels all the time. Like I have no idea where. Like none.
That is definitely fair. Which is why they have a pretty decent map in the game.
Yeah,
getting used to using the map.
I need to look at that more. But I didn't have a problem running through because the movement felt really good. The guns feel for not being able to aim up and down. It's funny how good, at least to me, the guns feel, and I'm sure that's all sound and animation and stuff that contributes to that. And the soundtrack's awesome.
Well, it's also just a matter of once you realize you can't aim up and down and adjust to it just a little bit, it's so much easier. Like, it's not something... It's not like Star Fox, where the controls are so strange that you have to adjust to them, and you may just not because your brain doesn't actually work that way anymore.
And Star Fox is on rails, so you can't stop. You're just you're going forward. So if you mess up, it's a lot more. Yeah, you can get out of stuff in Doom a lot easier than Star Fox for sure. So, what's your guys' strategy for killing those pink guys that run at you? Is it do you strafe around, or do you run backwards, firing in a panic? I run backward. Okay, me too. Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't.
I'm not sure. I know which pink guys you're talking about. I haven't gotten
yeah, you will. You will.
Okay.
If you play enough of it, you'll get to those guys. Interesting. I thought there'd be more of a push for Mega Man X. It's classic example of almost the perfect tutorial level.
It does have a really great tutorial level. I won't argue with that at all.
An excellent example of a modernization of a franchise, going from the NES Mega Mans, which were extremely popular, being able to change.
That's why it's number 2.
Change it up enough, but it is tough to argue with the game that created the first-person shooter genre, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's another excellent point that we hadn't raised. Is
I know Wolfenstein, there were games that came before it technically, but come on.
The distillation of the refinement of all of that into even just having the sprint button. Did they have that in? I don't think they had that in Wolfenstein, but I might be wrong. Just a lot of elements there that they, I think, pioneered to some extent.
Yeah. Okay, well, how about that? So we've got our top 5. 9. This is easy. What are people having problems with? So the no shots fired top 5 1993 video game entertainment products. Number 5, Myst. Number 4, Star Fox. Number 3, NBA Jam. Number 2, Mega Man X, and the winner, number 1, Doom. That's a man. You know what? We picked a year kind of at random. That's a solid list.
Yeah.
That's what might be. So if you guys enjoy doing this, I would have no problem doing more picking a year at random and doing this.
I like that. Sure.
And then once we get a good number under our belt, it might be interesting to try and rank which one has the strongest top 5. That might be an interesting conversation.
That'd be fun.
Because this
the ranking of the ranking.
Yeah. Really.
And since we're only about 37 minutes in, I do have some more things I can mention about Doom, both the original and the 2016 version that I played.
Oh, I like
it.
It would be interesting to compare, because the 2016, for people not in the know, that was the first Doom game since, I think, Doom 3 way back in 2004 or so.
Mhm.
And very much kind of a revitalization of the franchise. There was a lot, and I remember, so I follow things close enough that a lot of people that were very much in the zeitgeist of the original Doom back in 1993 were skeptical of that game and ended up just absolutely loving it.
And I can actually perfectly see why. Admittedly, only having played the original Doom for a little while now and wanting to play more of it, but Doom 2016 is sort of like what I was saying with the transition from Phantasy Star Online to Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yeah.
It feels like almost the same game, but updated and polished and looks wonderful, and it really feels like you just took Doom 1993 and updated it to the modern time without losing any of what made it special.
The hectic, not having played a ton of the original Doom, and I put a few hours into Doom 2016, but it's to me it's amazing how much they capture that hectic feel of the original game. Like, even with
hectic is a great way to describe
with the better movement options and stuff, and I think they did a really smart thing in that. Kind of forcing you to be, at least for me, to be more aggressive than I want to be, because getting certain kills is how you get health or special kinds of ammo and stuff. So kind of chaining that stuff together, it ends up being really satisfying, but really creates a much more intense experience that I usually create for myself in a shooter like that. So that's a good point.
Right, you don't have the at least in the original one, you don't have the option of kind of tentatively doing a lot of. You have to get used to sprinting around frantically.
Oh yeah, they're coming for you. You know, they are not if they see you, or if you trigger whatever, cross the line or something. Like today I was playing and I was fighting these 3 probably just normal demons, and then all of a sudden I just get ambushed from behind because I'd stood there long enough that they'd come from whatever area they were in. Right. But I apparently gotten close enough to pull them. But there's I think I've talked about No Clips documentaries previously on the podcast, but they did a couple episodes on Doom 2016, and it's really well done, and they explain kind of the elements of that very well. So I recommend that if anyone is further interested in that particular.
And Doom 2016 kind of tries to encourage you to do a similar thing with how you play it, because there are little achievements in each level, and some of them require doing really annoying things, like you have to air fatality these what are the worst enemies that I've encountered in that game so far. I'm trying to think of what they're called, but you might have encountered them. They're giant guys that come up in the first lava level as almost a boss, and then they just start being normal enemies later on.
What do they look like?
Let me just
do they have a weapon, or are they just swiping at you?
Just swiping at you.
So those might be the guys Valen and I were talking about in the original Doom, the Pinky.
Okay.
Pinky Demon, as I think they're called.
Yeah, I believe that is the
Hell Knight is what I think I'm trying to think of.
Okay, that is a different. A monster introduced in Doom 2.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know the names of all the guys in Doom 1, so let's just find out real quick which one is the pinky demon that you guys are talking about.
Yeah, if you do it, just do a Google search, it pops up immediately.
Doom. It's actually even called Pinky in Doom 2016.
Yep.
Apparently.
Yeah. We nailed it. Classic us.
Yeah. Always with it.
Okay.
Can anyone think of a good way to generate a random year for the next one?
Not
So
really.
Real quick, I think we should set a limit as to how far back we want to go. Like, I don't want to go back to 1985
I agree.
necessarily, right?
I don't think any of us would have played enough games from the 80s to really make a proper list out of anything from the 80s.
Okay, so
Yeah,
maybe we could go from the release for to my mind, the release of the Super Nintendo on, which would be 91, I think. Because at least for me, I definitely played enough of like Final Fantasy 2 and Super Mario World. And some
Well, if we're doing 1991 to current day, you could just find a dice roller online.
That's true. And we could just number those years, right?
Yeah, do a D29 and then just one is 1991 and.
Tell you what, let's start with 91 to what would be 2011, and I'll just roll a D20.
Yeah, that works.
Is there a reason we're stopping in 2011?
Yeah.
Just so Doc can roll a D20.
Just so I can roll.
Oh, okay.
Well,
and then 12.
So that would be
2003.
2003, I believe so.
All right.
Although if one is 91, that'd be 2002.
2002, you're correct.
All right, 2002.
Let's check the list of games released in 2002.
The mid-2000s could get interesting because it's a little easier to play old games semi-legally.
Also, one other thing I want to mention in regards to Doom, just in retrospect, it's really, really funny that anyone thought this game would turn someone who played it into a psychopath.
That is, I say the level of hysteria created by this is something else,
That's
fun times. Fortunately, we've gotten a lot smarter since then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2002. I already see Super Mario Sunshine. We've got the GameCube going here.
And I'm looking, but I'm not seeing a whole lot.
So you're not a fan of Lilo and Stitch Pinball?
007 Agent Under Fire. That was actually a game we played quite a lot.
Wait a minute. Yeah! Got it. Right here. Oh, man. What's wrong with me? Okay.
I don't believe we own that anymore, but I do recall playing it quite a lot and enjoying it.
I'm adding it.
Oh, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Okay. That's it.
Tactics Ogre, The Knight of Lotus. That's spelled Lodis.
Oh, boy.
I played and kind of liked Lost Kingdoms, but I don't think it really belongs on a best list.
Okay.
Unless we just cannot find much of anything else.
Let's see what we can... get on here. Hooters Road Trip. Probably not.
Surprisingly deep story. The depth of feel in the narrative
Yeah, there
really.
you go.
Warcraft 3.
What?
What?
Oh, Super Smash Brothers Melee. Oh man. Okay.
Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos, July 3rd, 2002. I mean, I think even if that's like a remake or an expansion of some
No,
sort,
that's
still...
the first. That's the first one. The original.
Yeah,
Warcraft
that-
3. Interesting.
Oh,
Now, were
Mega
you-
Man Zero.
Are you a Battle Network fan or no?
I haven't played it enough to really say anything, but Mega Man Zero
Okay.
is... It's got to be on there for consideration.
How about Britney's Dance Beat? Anybody
Don't feel strongly about
coming
that
in
one.
hot for that? No? Okay. Fair.
I mean,
Oh, Super Monkey Ball 2, for sure.
Kingdom Hearts kind of feels like it has to be on there for consideration.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The very
Quick-
first
Quick
one?
poll. Has
Yeah.
anyone played Kingdom Hearts?
I
No, I know
haven't.
there's like 19 of them.
I just feel like it's at least worth mentioning.
No, you're right.
And it's something I could give a shot in between now and the next podcast.
Anyone for the Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance GBA game?
No.
Okay. I know some of the handheld Castlevanias are very well regarded. That one is not popping out in my memory though. Burnout. Oh, Burnout 2. Never mind. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee.
Classic.
Austin Powers Pinball.
Ooh, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
Hey,
Anyone?
I mean, 100% played it. I don't know if it's going to make the top 5 just because.
Well, here's a game that has to go on just because of me. Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2.
So, no, yeah, this is our list. If we want to put them on there. And did anyone play Time Splitters too? That was kind of the spiritual successor to like the GoldenEye Perfect Dark.
Oh, Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion were both in 2002.
Oh, what?
Those are... I mean, probably only one's going to make it on there, but...
Maybe. We'll have to see.
They were released the same day, which is kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, because I remember Prime had a tie-in with Fusion. If you like played it, you could get the Fusion suit.
Oh, that's cool.
WWE SmackDown, shut your mouth.
Gauntlet Dark Legacy.
That's aggressive. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I mean, I've played a lot of these games.
The Fairly Odd Parents, Enter the Cleft. Metal Gear Solid 2 wasn't. 2 was it?
Okay, so
Oh,
this
Xbox,
this came out in Japan at the time, not the US yet.
What is it?
Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Let's go with US
I think we
release
should do
on that
US
one.
releases.
Okay, I just wanted
Now-
to at least
Now,
mention it.
you guys will be shocked to discover that I do have the Japanese version of Wind Waker in my hand, so I could play it, but I don't think that'll get me anywhere. None of us are fighting game people, so I don't think Marvel vs. Capcom's worth it.
If I had played Marvel vs. Capcom, I would probably put it on there under consideration, because
Yeah.
I do kind of enjoy fighting games sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that none of us have played it, and it probably, I would guess hasn't aged all that well,
Yeah, that's true.
kind of automatically kicks it off, especially with as many other games as we have as options right now.
What about the GBA version
Yep.
of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past? I'm kidding. You don't have to put
That's-
that on there.
You know, it'd be funny if that made the top 5.
It would. It would for me. I'll tell you that.
I'm okay with throwing it on there.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't. It's literally they didn't even make a graphical upgrade. It's the same game. This I'll tell you what. I'm gonna throw Sonic Advance just for kicks.
Especially with how like sparse things were looking on the list of games that came out that year initially, I'm surprised with how many that we've actually gotten.
Oh, here's a fun connection to 1993. On March 22nd, The Sims overtakes Myst as all-time best-selling computer game.
Huh.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad Myst made our list then. If it's the alt
Say,
worst,
I think we are wholly vindicated on that one. Wow.
yeah, that
Yeah.
really.
But The Sims was
Like-
earlier than that, right?
Wait, that's
No.
when it overtook. So
yeah,
this,
yeah,
this
yeah.
didn't-
You're right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. 2000. Man, yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is a much better, more. Oh God, this is covering everybody. I need to learn how to make a second column.
And I've played most everything on this list.
That's good because I was worried about like a lot of these are not going to be super easy to find now.
Okay, so the things that I have not played, I don't think I've played Super Monkey Ball 2. I played one of the Monkey Balls. I can't remember which one it was.
Okay, then you've
certain.
basically played Super Monkey Ball 2.
That's fair. I haven't played Kingdom Hearts, but I'll give it a shot this week.
I tell you what. Which one? I have Kingdom Hearts 3. No, you play it. You don't play it. I can't make myself. play it.
I haven't played Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. I have played the first one. I assume it's basically the same game, just updated.
More coasters.
So, yeah. And I don't think I've played Sonic Advance.
Okay, so here's the thing: do we want to try to do games we haven't played, or do we want to do ones that we'd like to kind of remind ourselves of here?
I mean, we could probably cut off the games that none of us have played and not worry about them because we have enough other options. Like we can cut off Kingdom Hearts entirely, I think.
That's a big series.
It is a big series, but this is our list and we can do what we want with it.
Hang on, let me do a quick search here. See how cheaply I can play it. Okay, so I guess while I'm looking that up, I've played Super Mario Sunshine. Has anyone else played Super Mario Sunshine?
I have played Super Mario
I
Sunshine.
played Super Mario Sunshine.
Okay, 007. Okay, we've all played that. Morrowind, I have not played, but Junkblade has, I'm sure.
I have. I am very, very fond of it.
Okay. So we'll skip that. Tactics Over the Night of Lotus.
It's supposed to be night with like a K, but
God.
I
You know
played
what?
that.
I've had it with this already.
That's fine. I just wanted to let you know. I've at least played it. I don't know if Valen has. I feel like that's a game he would have played, but
I don't think I actually did.
all right. Super Smash Bros. Melee. I don't think anyone is disputing that that belongs on the options.
I have played it, yes. Let's see. Warcraft 3, I think all of us have played.
I'm not good at it.
Oh god,
but-
oh god, no. Yeah. No. Mega Man Zero, I have not played that.
If you would like to give it a shot, I think the collection is on sale on the Switch Marketplace.
Oh, that's right, that is.
And I'm pretty sure the first 4 Mega Man X games are on sale for like $10.
I have the Legacy collection of the X games at least. Okay, so Super Monkey Ball 2, yes, I've played that at least. Kingdom Hearts, we're not sure about. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, I say, like you, I know I played the first one and at least one other one. I can't remember which one it was specifically. But you're also right. It's probably similar, and it'd be fun to talk about Roller Coaster Tycoon anyway.
I don't think Phantasy Star Online is making the top 5, but I have put so much time in that game that it has to at least be on the options.
Okay. Yeah, if we want to talk about it, then we'll talk about it. Prime and Fusion, I've played both those.
I have also played both of those and beat both of those.
Oh, humble brag. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. That's one I think I remember reading about a bunch of Nintendo Power, but never ended up getting. It sounds like you guys played it. Yeah,
a decent amount of that.
It's one of those games that seemed reasonably popular, but is actually really hard to find nowadays. And the sequel was one that literally no one liked.
Harsh, but probably true. Okay, well, yeah, and then Sonic Advance is one I have, and I want to keep it on there just because it's like the first. I think it's one of the first Sonic games on a non-Sega platform, which is worth commenting on at the very least, and I can actually play it. Okay, so we got rid of none of them.
But that's that's the discussion.
I mean, I have no problem with having a good discussion.
Pre-discussion.
So maybe let's try to split up the ones we play a bit more. Not that we should all enjoy Doom. I don't have a problem with that. But Valen, are there any ones you would be able to or or have a strong feeling that you want to give a try, or a refresher? Either one.
It's gonna be maybe. Oof. It's gonna be tough because if it's not on Steam.
Yeah, so let's see. Morrowind's gonna be on Steam for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Warcraft 3 would be on PC of some fashion. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 probably is. Do a quick search here.
Yeah, Morrowind work. You're right.
Yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 is on Steam.
I feel like Morrowind didn't work. I've just played it. Maybe I wonder which roller coaster.
Oh man, these screenshots are taking me back.
Roller coaster. 1 second, I'm looking up because I was playing one of the roller coaster tycoons earlier this year. Oh, just the original one. I don't know if I ever played 2. I wonder if I can get the Tactics Ogre, the Knight of Lotus on a computer somehow because I'd love to try that.
I know how to get that, so I can get that to you tonight, in fact.
I'm going to try to do that one then.
All right.
I'm going to try Kingdom Hearts because it's like the only one on this list other than Sonic Advance that I feel like I haven't really played or given a shot, and that kind of feels like a mistake on my part.
It's funny because I've watched enough videos of people trying to explain Kingdom Hearts, often in hilarious fashion. But I have yet to play one. I feel like I should. So maybe this will be the impetus for me to do so.
And just like looking at our list as it stands, I'm going to have trouble cutting this down to 5.
I already think it's going to be a
okay, so I'll let's see. I'm gonna play. I'll play Sonic Advance since I think I'm the only one who can play it easily. I'll do that. I will do 007 Agent Under Fire because that'll be funny. Yeah, and then maybe I'll do a smattering of other ones, but those are the two that I would like to at least remind myself of. And maybe Kingdom Hearts if I can snag a cheap copy.
And like I said, other than Kingdom Hearts, I've played, well, and I suppose Warcraft 3, I've played enough of these in detail enough to talk about them at decent length, so...
okay.
So other than giving Kingdom Hearts a try, I actually don't need to play any of these except at some point Sonic Advance. Just out of curiosity.
All right, good.
And that brings us to our hour.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
Flawless victory.
look forward to. Well, I guess maybe we'll play this a bit more by ear. If we get to enough of these that we want to do it next week, then we should. If we want to put it off a week, I think that's okay. If we want to do standard,
All right.
I think we probably stagger it, but we'll
Yeah.
see how we're feeling.
we'll come back, all you viewers out there. Just kidding. And see if we're talking about.
I think if we just keep up a semi-consistent schedule, we'll get more viewers.
If we,
really do.
and if we alerted people to the fact that it was happening, I guess I should probably put
There's a lot of
an ounce of effort into that.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Sorry,
that
Valen.
we-
I should have like rotated where the list was so it wasn't blocking your face the whole time. Here, we'll block me.
That's fine. It's about what I'm saying.
That's
not
true.
what I look like.
It's a podcast, not a. Okay, that's not important. All right. Any questions? No questions. Okay.
Another successful stream. And thanks for stopping by, everyone. This was episode 62, the Battle of 1993, which we resolved in convincing fashion. Boy,
Nailed it.
strong showing from a strong crew.
I say a good year, and it looks like we got another good one lined up. So good stuff. Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good one.